that has been removed.
So it's not original.
We should not be saying that, oh, that religion is a bad religion because there are some evil group of people that had decided that to sort of like meddle with it and remove certain texts, the religious text that was, or the original text that was actually set on that religion. So we cannot actually say that the religion itself is a bad religion, but we need to actually address the area of the Bible that is actually being removed and actually put them back, because this was done purely to suit the narrative that this European had, and to suit their agenda.
Okay, I've got the last question with you.
Colonize the black race.
I've got the last question with you when you're about to sum up. Are you first African and then Christian, or are you Christian and then African?
First, I'm first African. First African. My loyalty lie with the Africans. I can't say that I'm Christian first. Come on, that would be ridiculous.
Uncle, why are you African first? Why? Thank you, Pumi.
I'm a black man. As a black man, I was born in Africa as well. Even if I was born out of Africa, I would still be, my loyalty lie with Africa.
Pumi, how's our response to your ears?
So if God maybe in the church says me and Nyaban are the enemy of the church, and then your church is about to attack us, what would be your first stance?
If God said what?
If God says me and Nyaban are demonic, and then we want to destroy the information in the Bible, and then we need to be unalived, we need to be taken care of and removed so that this Bible can stay pure. And then you are there while this is being discussed. What will be your first stance? Are you going to listen to God who's speaking to you? Or are you going to listen? How would you tackle this one?
Your response on this is a little bit ironic, because the one thing is you're kind of like labeling God to be a bad thing, and he kind of like saying that, okay, because I was born in a family that actually have this strong link to Christianity. Therefore, you believe that my belief is a terrible belief, which could actually sort of lead to some kind of like evil activities towards others.
I was teaching you to remember that in the back of your mind, in black and white, it's written that what it says about us, some of us, that we are worshipping demonic entities. It's the Bible. It's not me. It's not something that I'm dumbsucking. All I'm saying is, if you are in that situation, and what would be your first reaction? And be honest. I mean, if you're a man of God, if God comes to you in a dream and say, Pumi will unalive you, quickly act now. What is your first stance when God tells you that?
I think I answered you at the beginning, because one thing is, again, you're trying to push a certain narrative that is incorrect. Because one thing is,
Elder, it's not pushing a narrative.
1 minute, I don't think anybody can speak to God directly. There are some people who claim that they can speak to God directly. I don't believe that.
Can I redirect the question, Pumi, if you allow me?
And again, we don't have to pay any attention to that. And for you to say that because I said I'm a Christian, so therefore I must be aligning myself with that sort of like evil belief that our practices in Africa is actually demonic. Is that what you're
reason why we're asking that question is because you cannot work on both sides. right? Like I ask you a simple question as well, just to add on for me.
Thanks, Daniel.
The Bible, anything, who created that thing?
I did say to you, I said that, well,
Was it black people or the white people?
the Bible was hijacked by white people, and they kind of like just changed a lot of.
So, and what year was it writing?
Timbuktu, pardon me, Onyaba.
Where is Timbuktu, if you know?
No, I'm saying what year?
It's in Mali.
Huh?
Mali. In
Mali.
Ouagadougou.
Yeah,
It's in Mali,
yeah,
Ouagadougou.
yeah.
Exactly.
In Mali.
Exactly. And it's
Uncle,
in
I'm
Africa.
asking. Uncle,
And that was way before the Europeans.
I understand. So what year did that write in the Bible?
I'm not sure. The Bible, the original Bible, I don't know what year it was written. But it was actually before that, the time Timbuktu University was before that.
Oh, so they created the Bible
No,
before
in
the...
Timbuktu, there was no Bible. Pardon me, Nyaban, pardon me.
Okay, go ahead, Dominic.
No, Elder, in Timbuktu, there was no Bible at all. In Timbuktu, we do get the navigation books, books to navigate. Where they charted the map. That is where even Christopher Columbus and the rest of Francis Angelo Vastagama, what they and to go to even the Americans.
No, but you're talking about...
In Timbuktu, we get a professor who was professor is Sahid Amariva. That's where we have the place called Morivia. It was named under that professor who came to Timbuktu to attend, and then when he attended, he transcribed a Quran.
Grocery.
That's the only Bible that was written there, and it was after the Bible that's already been written in Rome. Just to stop there.
Yeah, so, I mean, Timbuktu was the source of... mainly where most religious beliefs were actually being taught. So, but the thing is, the Europeans hijacked these practices that we have in Africa and turn it on its head and actually just claim it to be their own. But remember, civilization was actually brought to Europe by the Africans. And this is why also, if you look at if you go through all the museums in Europe, there are a lot of symbols and
Please repeat that.
All of them are
I didn't hear you
embracing
clearly.
civilizations.
I did have a network glitch. Pardon me.
Civilization were brought. And they actually just turned everything on its head and looted pretty much everything, pretty much documents and artifacts and some texts that from
Majority of the texts that were found in Ouagadougou University or institution called found there. It's a university was already conquered by the Kahit who call themselves the Mandingo, the Mosas, who control them, who give the Sahiti, Monrova, all declaration there to administrate things, to transform and translate navigating system of the stars, navigating systems of the sea, navigating system of the land, and mapping the land. And they give those details to the Arabian. That is where the Arabian have an idea of having a conquest to Spain, because they were given territories how they were shaped, not any religion, not anything. Hence, the Mansa Musa became the sellout to that community, because they divulged the secrecy of, in this case, we can call them Dogon, yes, the Dagara, the Demne, the secrecy that comes with such initiation and the knowledge system. So the Timgutu was built of that purpose, not for all religious purposes, not for Allah, not for Jesus. It's just when the conquest of the Arab happened, they get to take over such a institution. That is why I quoted Sahid Manrova, who became the head seer for the house called Beta et Yakim. Beta et Yahim, that was built by Hurain. It was in Afghanistan, the house of wisdom, where every Arab learned from. So everything that was from Timkutu was taken to that place. I, Sahid, translating it to Arabic, because it was written in the Mende, in the Tele, in the Deme, in the Limba language that is spoken amongst even the Tagara, and even the Koyondoya, the Dogana. So it was never a biblical story. It was not talking about Abraham. It was not talking about anything. It was talking about the great Nomo and how they passed through this navigation system and how they passed through these sciences. So if you want to talk about Timgutu, don't give it to the Arabs. The Arabs, they invaded Timgutu, Ouagadougou. Don't give Europeans credit, because we knew navigation system before the Europeans they even learn about that. So don't try to say I am making Europeans great. I'm showing you, Elder, that you are using European religious idea as a historical content, and that religious idea, we never own it. And there's some people who say, in my life, I said the 42 confession of Ma'at are similar to 10 commandment. I never said that. I said the 42 confession of Ma'at are far less mind. They have Hanararuba Babylonian code system. I've learned law. I can never compare something that is not the same. And I will tell you that there's people who talk and say, oh, they're saying 42 confession is like the laws, the 10 commandment. And it's not the same. In the 10 commandment, you are told that you shall never disrespect your mother and your father. We say we have never disrespected our mother and our father and our ancestors. That is one of the law of the 42 confession. One that is mistranslated, it talks only about mother and father. And someone who's going to read that, they will assume it's the 10 commandment, and it has no relation. That is what I was saying in my life. But people were ready to listen to the part where, they interpreted. They never took everything, that they misinterpret everything. The Bible is not based on African tradition and perspective and cultural knowledge system. Never. The Bible, it is based in European creed. That is why Yahweh, Elohim, Torah, it's the same like that. Elohim, Hashem, it's the same. They are the greedy gods who want to be worshipped alone, and they want to take over other people's land, invade the land of the Canaanite, the land of the Amalekites, and it was promised to the Israelites, who are so useless, migrating for 400 years more to a place that is 10 kilometers far away from them. So it's just a waste of time to say we are that descendant. We are not that descendant. We can even never be part of that. And that history and that mythology has no relation with us. That is why the first time you get that mythology come out. It was written in the 70s. And I don't know why you don't want to listen to that history. You are just shying away, telling us Europeans are bad. No, it was written by Europeans 228, the Taĺking, when they've already invaded Egypt in the place called Ukwan or the Agaba. That is where Hapesteia, Tronians, Travenia, Saint Augustus, they learned mysteries there. And it was not Christianity. It was the Saparis order, Kerem order, Amun-Ra order. It has no Christian order. Hence why they banned it in 60 AD. Hence why they banned it. They know that they still even tell that story even today because they did that. And you'll want to come with a lie and say, no, it was Christian. We know it was not Christian. That is why we tell you, go back to your roots. We know it was about our tribal identity and our tribal names called clans names. We know it was about our system, not Christianity. It had nothing to deal with Yahweh. It had nothing to deal with a greedy God who chose some few particular people. We know even Haspeteia in her records, since people don't read, they're too much to hype up. Haspeteia in her records, because her father worked in that library as one of the invaders from the Roman cabinet. And when they work there, they get a chance to translate some of the records there. And that is where they started to realize about the world, the axis, the world moving in its own axis, rotating, and the earth, the sun being stationary. And Hapesteia, hence why she was killed. She was killed because of that in the burning of Agabe libraries. She was killed because she exposed it. These Africans have a different perspective about what is the world, whereas the Europeans, by that time, they were saying it's flat. That is what you get even in your scroll. By that time, your scrolls were already written, and they were called Sebetutujent. That is where they started to translate scrolls and change them, and it was called the Tanakh, where we call it the Torah. The Torah is taken from the Sebetutujent, and the first Sebetutujent was in Greek. It was called Pentateuch or Pentateuch, meaning 5 books. You call them 5 books of Moses. That is why when they were translated, these 5 books of Moses into Hebrew, it was translated 235 AD. It was in before that. Before that, Hebrews never had any written language. Hebrew, that's why Joseph Flavius, can I please stop here and land here?
Oh, and this is what This is why history.
He only started to know how to write because he can write in Latin and Greek, not in Hebrew. He was not writing in Hebrew nor in Aramaic.
Yeah.
The Bible is
happened 70 AD because the Flavius was captured 70 AD by Vampirus and Titus, the Caesars of Rome.
Can you please repeat what was done in 228? What happened then? I'm not sure if I heard that right.
In 228 BC, yeah. King Philadelphia, also known King Philadelphia III, also known as Ptolemy III, he commissioned a book through 72 outcasts of the Maccabees who were making rebellion against the kingdom of the Bantu. He commissioned them to build a book, an ascension, what they've learned from the Bantu. And that book, it's called the Sebetutujent or the 72 priest. It's Greek of saying 72 priest. And in that, he created what we call the Pentateuch, the 5 books of Moses out of the 72gent, who were the 72 priests of this Hammabis or Nazarene criminal movement at the time of the Bantu regime in Jerusalem.
Thank you. I now have the date of when they wrote it, 228. I will never forget that now. Thank you. Uncle, you got any comments before we move to the next guest?
That's why I even said I touch on the Greeks, and I said that the Greeks, a lot of people always sort of like think of the Greek as the most the wisest, but no, they learn all this from Africa.
But Uncle, did you hear how it was written by them in 228?
Sorry, Bantwana Bam. Pardon me, Nyaban. I'd like to show you. I think I make a date wrong. It's 281, not 28. 281. Let me show you.
Correction.
Yes, I've written it in my record. I have records. I keep records. Me. I'm not a young child. I kept this record when I was young. It was 1999 when I kept this record.
Okay.
Oh wow! Can you repeat the year again?
There's it.
281.
281. 281 BC. Follow me.
81. Thank you. 200
A
BC.
second.
BC.
Yes, I kept record.
Okay, correction, guys. Correction. Thank you for that. Okay. Let's move on to Ellie. Go ahead, Ellie. Introduce yourself, please. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure. Sorry. Naturally, were you here first before you dropped?
I've been here. I want to talk.
Okay. Go ahead, crew. Please keep it short.
Okay. To make my contributions, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I just want to tell our brother that making use of the Western narrative is not going to make any sense in regards to us being Africans. Using anything European to even describe our spirituality is an insult to we Africans. I mean, these guys have stolen everything from us. They stole our dignity. They stole our spiritual way of worship. They converted it into a religion.
They stole the African people and brought them to America.
In heaven, and heaven is a place. On this earth. Why don't you leave us and go to that place where your father is in the sky? Go and enjoy all those apartments. There's light, there's food. You are not working. Africans. It doesn't make any sense. Let's talk about the fact that we are Africans. Come on. Let's remember that we've got our history. We've got our ancestors who fought for us, who died for us. Whenever we keep talking about European Europe and their Christianity that was brought, that they used as a weapon, to kill our ancestors. Come on. Let's look at the yeah.
Crew, 1 second, because you're kind of deflecting a little bit. Would it be fair for me to say, to find that balance of us not talking about this, can you please open space so then we can have the balance, since you want us to talk about that? Would that be fair?
I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
I said, since we're talking about this too much, can you open space where we can talk about things we're not talking about on your space?
Okay. Well understood.
Would that be fair?
Okay, yeah.
The best way to do anything is according to what you're calling is, correct? So I think, we can have that balance if you open the space for us to talk about what you think we should be talking about.
Okay, good. There's no stress. Now I'm going to let our brothers to understand that we are in the age of knowledge. We are in the period of knowing. We have a lot of things to discover as Africans. We can see the momentum is gathering spiritually and physically. There is a shift going on. So, calling our people sellouts, many of them, we have them as sellouts. But I will encourage each and every one of us to make sure that we keep on preaching to other Africans that Africa is home. Africa is home. Africa is the motherland. The earth cannot exist without motherland Africa. Thank you very much, my sister.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. Naturally, go ahead. since Naturally is not ready, go ahead, Ali. Please introduce yourself and make your contribution.
Hi, like you said, my name is Ellie. Good rising, everyone. Yeah, I was listening to Samalek when I came to the live, and also Pumi. And the question that I wanted to redirect to one of the brothers on the live, I guess it was your uncle. The question of whether you would basically choose either the life of our brethren or the Bible. We have to, in my understanding, I understand that before the Bible, there was us, there was our spirituality. So the Bible was not really meant for us to use to redirect ourselves, but to use on people that do not have any idea of what our spirituality life is and how that benefits us from being who we are. So from coming from a Christian perspective and now understanding how different that is from the original spirituality, which I would mention that it was inspired from, but there are things that, like Samalek was saying, that it is totally different from what the original is. And I was interested on how he explained that it has absolutely no correlation to it, because I can see some correlation, but again, like the uncle was explaining, I don't see him over here, so I don't know his name to address him, but Alimati. So he was explaining, but again, like for instance, there are practices such as baptism. For instance, can we use that to make a correlation between the initiation of water and fire, which is also mentioned in the Bible as baptism of the Holy Spirit and baptism of immersed water? And also, I want to ask the last thing. I don't want to prolong this. What can you say, Samalek? I'd like to see your point of view about Sonini, Nanini, and Nasambi. What can you say about these things? Because I'm just interested. If you can also write the names of the book that you mentioned before, 72 priests, I think you mentioned, and those books that were called, the way that these books were called before, because I am very interested. I'm studying about this, so I want to go in depth on those things. Thank you.
Can I just add a little firewood on Ellie's fire that she's just sparked, right? About baptism. Because I know in the churches they always tell us that you can be born again. Because I know that if you're out here, you're born. But that concept of born again, what is the depth of it? That's the question for Alimadi. Because it's like, are you born twice or are you born once?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Madi.
Okay. To start off with the last one, being born again is not that you get back into your mother's womb and get born again. No, it's an acceptance that Christ died for our sin, and then it's sort of like he created a bridge between us and God. But I mean, we don't have to believe that, because as I said to you before, the text has been changed so many times, and mainly changed by the Europeans. Their mission and their agenda they have, because they hijack the religion and actually like turn it on its head and kind of like change a lot of things in it to suit the mission, their own mission and the agenda they have in Africa. And that is why I said also that the original text that was removed from this text need to be returned in order to actually make work, put some weight on the religion itself, because the religion has been hijacked. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, we hear you.
Yeah.
I don't.
In addition to that, I mean, I personally do not practice the Christianity. I was born in the family of Christianity, but I don't actually practice Christianity. Nor do I practice any other religion.
Right. Right, thank you. I would like to know what Samalek has to say about those. I don't know if you remember, Samalek, my questions on.
Can you repeat your questions again, Ali, for Zamalek, and then we'll move on, please.
Sonini Nanini and what's Tatanzambe? Is that the question, right? Because I know that's the name.
Yeah, that's one of the